Okay, so this video is supplementing the tag creation. So I'm going to come over to player in my hierarchy, and it's hidden right now. I'm going to uncheck that, and I'm going to hit play, and my cubes over here will be spinning, and my player will be over here. And if I roll around and hit one of those objects, you'll see I'm going to bounce right off of it. So we're going to set some things up so I can run into these things and actually collect them. Now, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go to my player controller script. So I'm on my player selected. I've got my script over here, and I am going to edit my script. Now, in the video, they use some of the ways to hunt into the API, and they suggest putting some code down here in what they call their code palette. Basically what they're doing is they're putting sample code in a place where it's not going to impact the script and potentially mess up the curly braces, because the curly braces are actually pretty important. They have to open and close to make sure that things start and end at the right time. So they were like, hey, let's grab some sample code and copy it down here, and then we'll get rid of it. But they didn't really tell you at the start that that's what they were doing. It is useful, though, to be able to grab things from the API and try it out. Since you already have a sample that does that, I'm going to come over here, and I am just going to add my on trigger enter. So on, as I start typing on, you'll see I get a bunch of different things. Look at all these on things happening. So I'm going to go on trigger, and as it starts to filter out, there's still a whole bunch of things that can happen on triggers. And I'm going to do on trigger enter. It's like, oh, okay, private void, on trigger enter, collider other, and then it gives me an opening curly brace and a closing curly brace. Now, what's going to happen is the physics system is going to know that if something is set as a trigger, if we run into it, it'll let us know by setting up this variable other, telling us what the thing that we hit is. Since this script is on our player, this will be whatever our player has hit. So we are going to do if, and ifs have to have parentheses. So if the other, which is a collider, if that collider's game object, if that collider's game object, and we try to compare that tag, and compare tag needs a string, so I'm going to put in my double quotes, and I'm going to say pickup. So if the thing that we've collided with, if that other game object has a tag, and that tag is capital P, lowercase ick, space capital U, lowercase p, then we want to do something. What do we want to do? I'm going to put in some curly braces. So we're going to start doing something. I'm going to say that the other game object, and there is a set active, and we're going to say false. That's the equivalent of unchecking the box. Okay, so if we run into a trigger, if the object that's in that other area is tagged as a pickup, and I happen to hit it, I will tell it to disappear. That looks pretty good. So let me go ahead and save this. Go back over to Unity. Unity is going ahead and recompiling that script. If I hit play, I can go into my console. There are no errors in the console. If I run into anything, as we saw in the sample video, we still don't have something set up in the physics engine in order to make this trigger active. So we're going to do that in the next video, but first I'm going to go over to GitHub Desktop and update player controller. Add on trigger enter to player controller. Commit that to master. Okay, we'll fix why this wasn't working in the next video.